devastating air pollution and severe social divide between residents and refugees, a corrupt, unforgiving, and violent social order. This is the world where our protagonist has to deliver oxygen. Can he beat the odds stacked against him and also help a kid, Sawol, become a delivery knight? Like him? The scene begins in an office where the employees are working diligently. The broadcaster announces the weather, reporting that a sandstorm was hovering over the entire peninsula. Several accidents and incidents have been reported across the nation, and it was critical to maintain structural safety. A man calls out to Sewell, asking if she has prepared the report he requested. Sewell responds affirmatively, mentioning that she will send it to him immediately. Another woman, Minji, calls out to Sewell, asking if she has any plans for the weekend. Minji and another girl are planning to go shopping, and if Sewell was interested, she was welcome to join them. Just as Sewell hears a notification sound, she excuses herself from the conversation with the lady. Standing outside the gate was a man wearing a respirator that covers his face and carrying a box. The system, designed to open the door, asks for identification. The man replies that he was there to deliver a package. The scanner activates, and the system asks for resident confirmation. He uses the barcode on his wrist to scan, and as the system processes the request, he was instructed to stand by. Once the identification was confirmed, the door opens. He steps inside, and upon seeing a woman, he asked she was Sewell. As Sewell agreed, he showed her the screen, asking her to scan it for confirmation. Once her identification was verified, he handed her the package. After that, he left the office. Sewell opened the box and called out to Sawol, asking if he could give her a hand with it. She glanced toward the door, but received no response. She called for him several times, and when she went to check, she found that Sawol wasn't in his room. Outside the building, as the delivery guy was about to get into his van, a small girl wearing a mask approached and called out to him. He asked what she wanted. The girl inquired that what she needed to do to be like him. He was confused and asked her to explain what she meant. She remained silent, so he bent down to her level and gently asked where she lived, warning her that it wasn't safe to be roaming around alone and advising her to go back home. The girl replied that she wanted to deliver packages too, and asked what she needed to do to become a delivery agent. He asked her why she wanted to be one. Standing up, he told her that the job wasn't like a picnic, and there were no breaks between deliveries. They had to work through all kinds of weather, whether it was rain, snow, or wind. He also mentioned the respirator they were required to wear, constantly putting it on and taking it off, which he found incredibly irritating. Just then, the delivery boy stopped a knife that was thrown toward him. The girl was shocked to see it. A group of armed men wearing respirators approached. Their leader, a chubby man, ordered the delivery boy to leave the truck and get out of there without causing trouble. He revealed that he had already killed 10 delivery agents across 4 districts. Casually, the delivery boy teased, claiming that he was trembling in fear, but he still had all those packages to deliver. He asked if they planned to deliver them for him if he left the truck. The man laughed and said that the packages wouldn't reach their correct addresses if he left. The delivery boy replied that it wouldn't be fine, as he would get in trouble with his boss if the packages were delivered to the wrong addresses. He argued that being in trouble was better than dying. The man stated that he wasn't trying to take innocent lives, and told the delivery boy to leave the truck while he was asking kindly. He reminded the boy to keep in mind that he had already killed 10 delivery agents across 4 districts. The delivery boy sarcastically remarked that the man expected him to believe that he didn't want to kill anyone, looking the way he did. With that, the delivery boy used his leg to send the knife flying into the air, then kicked it toward the group, saying that even a small child wouldn't take them seriously. The girl was surprised and wondered if she was supposed to laugh. The knife struck the man's oxygen tank, causing it to leak. The delivery boy commented that the man was responsible for killing 10 agents in 4 districts, and then challenged them to fight him. The man ordered his group to kill the delivery boy, and they all rushed to attack him at once. The girl hid behind the delivery van and watched as the delivery boy kicked one man, sending him to the ground. Another man attacked with a katana, but the delivery boy blocked the strike with his fist and then used his other fist to punch the man, knocking him down as well. One by one, he defeated them all. Then, their boss appeared, wielding a large hammer. He declared that he would squash the delivery boy like a bug, and launched a powerful attack with the hammer. However, the delivery boy dodged the blow by jumping, and then used his hands to land on the man's shoulders. He asked if the man wiped out 10 delivery agents with that slow hammer. The man demanded to know what the delivery boy was doing, and when he saw the boy pulling the knife out of the oxygen tank, he shouted for him not to. But the delivery boy took it out anyway and kicked the man, sending him crashing into his own men. One of the men stood there, shocked by what he had just witnessed. He saw all of his comrades falling near the truck, where the girl was still hiding. The girl thought to herself that the delivery boy was incredibly strong. Her mind then wandered to her past, remembering her brother, who had once told her he was going to be a delivery agent. She asked herself what that even meant. The two of them had been trapped in a hole with other people at the time. The boy wondered if becoming a delivery agent was the only way to escape that dismal hole in the ground. The girl asked if he would become a delivery agent, so they could get out of there. He replied that his friend had told him that if they became delivery agents, they wouldn't have to worry about oxygen or food, and they wouldn't have to care about what people above the ground thought of them. He said that they could live a comfortable life with their families. His sister then mentioned that she wanted to be a delivery agent too. He replied that she couldn't. When she asked why, he told her it was because she was a girl. His friend had told him earlier that delivery agents had to be strong and fight like beasts. The girl, determined, said she was a good fighter too, and asked if he wanted a piece of her. But then, she remembered a time when they had both been badly injured, blood oozing from their heads. She called out to her brother, begging him to wake up and open his eyes, but he was too far gone to respond. Suddenly, a corpse was thrown over them, adding to the pile of bodies around them. The girl remembered how her brother had promised earlier that he would take care of her by becoming a delivery agent, and that together they would live a comfortable life. People came to collect the bodies to burn them all. The girl became emotional as she remembered everything. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she tried to wipe them away, but a respirator made it difficult. The leader of the bad guys saw her distress, and seizing her shouted for the delivery boy to stop. The girl begged him to let her go, but the man ignored her, threatening the delivery boy that if he moved even an inch, he would kill her. He said he was just going to take his truck and leave quietly, so the boy should stay put. As the delivery boy took a step forward, the man ordered him to stop, warning that if he didn't, the girl would die. The delivery boy replied that he didn't understand why the man thought this would work on him, and wondered why he should care whether the little girl lived or died. The man explained that it was the job of the delivery boy to protect the residents. The delivery boy agreed that protecting the residents was his duty, but he still wasn't backing down. The man then checked the girl's hand and noticed that her resident barcode was missing. The delivery boy rushed forward, saying it was a poor choice of hostage, and punched the man, sending him stumbling back a few steps. The girl was freed. The delivery boy turned to her and explained that being a delivery agent was dangerous. Agents were often targeted by brutal and dangerous people like the man they had just fought. If she still wanted to become a delivery agent, she would need to be as strong as he was. Then the police arrived. The senior officer saluted the delivery boy and praised his efforts, saying they would take care of the rest, and that he could leave now. The bad guys begged, pleading for mercy, saying they wouldn't do it again. They claimed they were bluffing when they said they had killed 10 agents in 4 districts, and that they only said it to scare the delivery boy. They begged for forgiveness, but the senior officer shot one of them in the head, silencing him. He explained that the man had died because he was a refugee. Then, the police killed the rest of them as well. The delivery boy entered his van, pressing the purification button to clean the air, and removed his respirator. The scene shifted to Sawol's room, where she had arranged 3 items in a row on top of a small pile, creating a tower. She said that if the girl stepped outside without permission, she would receive more than 3 bumps on the head. The girl reassured her that nothing had happened. Sawol thanked God for that. The girl smiled and assured Sawol that she was a master at hiding and sneaking around. Sawol sighed, asking why the girl was so curious about what was outside. The girl admitted it was because she was curious. Sawol asked her to promise that she wouldn't sneak out again without permission. The girl replied that she wasn't a baby anymore, then reluctantly promised, mumbling that promises were meant to be broken. Sawol smacked her on the head, adding 4 bumps, and then sternly told her to stop it. She wasn't kidding. Sawol warned her that if anyone found out they were living like this, they'd both be doomed. The girl reluctantly agreed, saying she would stay inside. The night passed uneventfully, and the next morning, the delivery boy met a man named Daegu Shin. He scanned his identification, and once it was approved, Daegu received his package. Daegu mentioned he had a package that needed to be sent out. He handed it to the delivery boy, who asked if Daegu had written down the recipient's name and address. Daegu confirmed that he had. The delivery boy reassured him that the package would be delivered by the next day. As Daegu thanked him, the delivery boy stepped outside with the package in hand. Daegu then turned toward a few people in his room and asked if everything was good. These men had captured his family, and the leader remarked that Daegu had done so well, convincing them that he was an actor. As promised, they released Daegyu's family, but they cautioned him to be careful, as they were about to hear something beautiful. Daegu had set the stage for them, so they were advised to pay close attention. Daegu apologized to his family for what had happened. The man then began counting down from 3 to 1, and the package in the delivery boy's hands exploded, as it contained a bomb. The man laughed as he heard the blast. The scene shifted to a small girl and boy, who were hiding and looking around. The boy remarked that she was there. The girl nodded in agreement. He said he wouldn't be able to come out for a while, to which she replied that she had come to tell him that. He was surprised and asked about her training. She explained that her sister had found out she sneaked out and that she had to return soon, so for now, they would have to train on their own. He wondered about the situation, and then told her he had something to show her. She asked what it was. He said it was a place she would be very interested in, but if she had to go home soon, they could visit it another time. She wondered about the place and suggested they swing by quickly, asking him to agree. He stood up and told her to come with him. He took her to a place where they could begin their journey. He mentioned that they needed to reach District 4, and that they would get there quickly. She replied that if it turns out to be boring, so he will be dead. They entered the canalway, walking together. As they moved, he asked what Sawol planned to do with the girl. The girl asked him to clarify. He responded, saying that Sawol wouldn't even let the girl leave the house, and was essentially keeping her a prisoner. He wondered how much longer she intended to maintain that. The girl replied that Sawol wasn't imprisoning her, just being cautious. She explained that if the girl kept her head down for a little while longer, she wouldn't need to hide anymore. The boy then wondered if there was another way for a refugee to earn residency without becoming a delivery agent. The girl told him that Sawol wouldn't share that information, but she was sure Sawol had a plan. The boy suggested she tell Sawol that she was going to become a delivery agent, considering that was why they had been training together. The girl revealed that when she last discussed it with Sawol, she almost got killed. She explained that if the girl got the residency, she wouldn't train or become a delivery agent. The boy wondered aloud if he was on his own. The girl guessed that she could spar with him from time to time. He mentioned that he was very grateful. The scene shifted to a place where a fight between two men was ongoing. After taking a blow, one of the men fell to the ground. There were many spectators watching, some even placing bets on the outcome of the battle. The crowd cheered for both fighters, teasing the injured man for failing to dodge the attack. As the fallen fighter remained unable to stand, the referee declared the result. Kim, accompanied by a few others, was also present, and remarked that it was a total waste. A man approached Kim, commenting that he was here again. Kim nodded in agreement, saying that he was on his way back and that no one had caught his attention that day. The man urged Kim to calm down and suggested that he stick around for the final round. Just then, a bulky man appeared. The small boy and the girl emerged from the canal path, and the boy grabbed her hand, urging her to hurry, saying that it sounded like the fight was still ongoing. She wondered what was going on. The audience was stunned to see the giant man, and murmured that he was surely over 9 feet tall, and they had never seen him before. They were confident that anyone who faced him would be knocked out with a single punch, so they placed their bets on him. As everyone was betting on the giant, the man taking the money asked if they were going to place their bets without even knowing who the opponent would be. The crowd confidently replied that it didn't matter who the opponent was. The giant would surely win. The girl and the boy sat on the stairs, watching everything unfold. She realized that they were at an underground fight club. He agreed with her, adding that it wasn't just any ordinary fight club. She asked what he meant by not ordinary. He asked if she knew how delivery agents were chosen. She replied that this was exactly what she had wanted to ask him the other day, and she guessed it was some sort of contest. He said she was half right. Dinny explained that it was common for delivery agents to be out of commission due to injury or death, which created frequent vacancies for the position. However, if contests were held for the position only after it became available, it would take a significant amount of time to promote the contest, gather enough contestants, and, most importantly, not all refugees would even hear about it. Even among the contestants, it would take more time to sift through the nobodies. From the delivery service provider's perspective, the process was a nuisance, since the position needed to be filled quickly. That's why they began using smaller fight clubs nationwide. Casting directors at each of these clubs would pre-select the best fighters in advance. When the position became available, the top-tier fighters would gather for the contest, and the winner would become the delivery agent. She wondered if, in a nutshell, that meant these were the preliminary rounds for the final contest. He agreed, saying that's exactly what they would have to go through. She remarked that it meant all those fighters were their rivals. The giant man shouted loudly, asking that who will be his opponent. The crowd was buzzing with excitement. The giant man declared that he didn't care who stepped up. He would crush them all. With trembling hands, a man wearing a cap raised his hand and said he had been standing there the whole time, and he was the one who would be his opponent. The scene shifts to Sawol's office, where she was on a call. She introduces herself, mentioning that she called a while back and asks if there are any updates on her inquiry. When she hears that the investigation was still ongoing, she acknowledges that she understands it's not easy, but insists that the person should hurry. After requesting more information, she ends the call, feeling a headache coming on. The scene then shifts to the District 5 warehouse, where the delivery supervisor, Dalsu Bey, learns about the explosion that morning. He was informed that the agent survived, but the stolen vehicle was still missing. Dalsu asks the man if they couldn't simply track the vehicle using the location tracker. The man replies that the tracker has been removed. Dalsu pauses and asks if the thieves knew where the tracker was located. The man confirms that they did. Dalsu notes that things are getting messy and wonders when the injured agent will be back to work. The man replies that he doesn't think the injured agent will return. Dalsu was surprised and asks why. The man explains that although the delivery agent survived, his injuries were severe, and more importantly, his right hand was amputated. Dalsu guesses that the explosion must have been severe enough to cause such damage. The man clarifies that the amputation wasn't due to the explosion, and they suspect the culprits cut off his hand and took it with them. Dalsu was shocked to hear this. The scene shifts back to the fight, where the giant man stands in front of his terrified opponent. The giant man wonders aloud if he really has to fight him. It's one thing to look down at him, but pushing him to fight was crossing the line. One man comments that it seems the giant man was getting angry. Another person questions why such a scrawny guy would even be put up against him. A man asks Kim what he thinks, and Kim replies that he's seen the giant man up close. He notes that the opponent was so small, but he's certain the giant man will prove himself in this match. The referee steps in and says it seems there's been a misunderstanding. The giant man removes the opponent's hat, demanding to see his face. He flinches when he finally sees the man's face, feeling a chill run down his spine. One man comments that the face was fierce as hell, while another laughs, saying that it even scared the giant guy. In a fit of anger, the giant man punches his opponent, sending him crashing into the ground. He warns him not to make him scared. As the floor cracks under the impact, Sawol's sister and the boy with her watch in shock. She comments that the floor has broken and wonders if they really have to fight against people like that. The boy responds that they will have to train like hell from that day forward. She then wonders if the giant man's opponent has passed out, as he wasn't moving. The giant man muttered that he let his rage get the best of him. The referee shouted at him, reprimanding him for knocking out his opponent before the match even started. The giant man apologized, but explained that his opponent's face was just begging for it. The crowd wondered if the opponent was already out, and if the match was over. Kim told a man beside him that the giant was losing his touch and wasn't the right candidate. The man urged Kim to wait and watch. To everyone's surprise, the giant man's opponent got up, leaving the girl in shock. Blood poured from the man's head as he apologized to the giant, explaining that his face had been offensive. The giant man flinched and yelled at the referee to blow the whistle and officially start the match. As soon as the match began, the giant man charged, vowing to pop his opponent's eyeballs out of his skull. But the smaller man dodged the attack, infuriating the giant. In a fit of rage, the giant grabbed his opponent by the collar and slammed him to the ground again, causing the man to cough up blood. Without hesitation, the giant man punched him. The scene shifts to Sawol, who was working when she heard the doorbell. She wondered if it was a package. She then logged out of her VR headset and appeared in her room. Approaching the door, she asked who was there. The person on the other side replied that it was a delivery. The scanner requested the resident confirmation protocol, and as the man showed his scanner, it was scanned, causing the door to open. Sawol was shocked to see 3 men standing there, one of whom was holding a severed hand and telling Sawol that she had a package. The scene then shifts back to the fight, where the giant man continued to beat his opponent mercilessly. As the 2 kids closed their eyes, the girl remarked that it was so cruel, and the boy replied that it was all over.